Hey, how's it going? You have something that's been bouncing up and down?
Invite yourself over.
Turn the lights on.
Good.
Yes.
We're live streaming, so
It's not too far. And then
Right next to the lake. First five. Okay, you walk on the lane.
our average.
There's small houses. Tell them to transportation buildings. Might as well. You're gonna stay.
Is it on? It is, yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I'm Jim Brennan. I'm president of McKelvey Homes. And I do want to thank the city. I know we have Alderman Dave Wonley and Casey Riley here, and former Mayor Dave Zucker. Thank you for letting us use this facility. We are live streaming to try to accommodate those that couldn't be here in person, and we were limited to 80. I'm happy that you all are here, and we're real excited about the plans that we have. To my left, I have Ken Cruz, who is the president of Payne Family Homes. Some of you may have seen that Payne Family Homes is now, I guess at the end of this weekend.
They're already changing the signs.
You're changing the signs to Fisher Homes. Like banks, sometimes the bank name changes, but you deal with the banker. Ken Cruz is a great friend of mine. We've known each other a long time. I have the utmost respect for Ken, and I'm proud to partner with him, whatever his company name is. So he'll be here to talk to you about the products that Fisher Homes will be planning at what we're calling Inverness Phase 3. To my right is my son, Phil Brennan. He's going to be talking about McKelvey Homes and the products that we offer. And we have Dave Bowles from Bowles Engineering, who's been involved in this site quite a bit. We're also very proud to have the sellers here, Don Prestine, and I think your Aunt Grace, and also her daughter, Sue Busker. So thank you for having the confidence in us to sell us not only Inverness 1 and 2, but also now Inverness 3. This Inverness 3 is 47 acres, and it's currently zoned commercial. And I know there have been many attempts to try to develop this as commercial, but we all know COVID has had a tremendous impact on the marketplace. And really the overwhelming success we've had at Inverness 1 and 2, it's exceeded our expectations. And I see former Mayor Zucker here. He challenged me several years ago to do something spectacular. And he said, this is the best site in St. Charles, and he was right. And I think we did. We've got a very good plan, and the proof is really in the sales we've had. We're about half sold out. I know when some of you may have been here 3 years ago, we thought the project for Inverness 1 and 2 would total about 120 million. It now looks like it's going to be over 160 million. We were about half sold among the 3 builders that are there. And this is a smaller site, so we're really just going to have 2 builders, Fisher, formerly Payne Family Homes, and McKelvey Homes developing this site. You know, if you think about the commercial, it was planned to do maybe close to 400,000 square feet of a combination of things. Fast food restaurants, sit-in restaurants, a home improvement store, some retail, a dentist or doctor's office, and also an office building. And you can see there's several other sites around St. Charles that have not been utilized. So I approached Don several months ago and said, hey, what do you think about us buying it as residential? And he said, sure. And so we're really proud that he selected us. We're planning to continue on that same theme going forward, because I tell you, it really has exceeded our expectations. I'd like to now turn it over, and I don't know, can we show, maybe we can flip up here, Gia, and show the current site that we're talking about. And Phil, maybe you can highlight, there we are there. Let's go back to the aerial. You can see the aerial here, and Phil, maybe you can border it. The creek is a tree line that runs through on a diagonal, and we're talking everything to the left of that creek. And Phil will show you here what our plans are. It's been farmed. Don, I don't know what they've been farming it at, beans?
Oh, yes.
For several years.
Beans and corn.
So there are some trees around the perimeter, but it's generally cleared. And so Phil, why don't I turn it over to you and you can talk about our plans for Inverness Phase 3.
Sure. Our plan is to continue on the success of Inverness and develop this 47 acres. If you go to the next site. The trails, varied setbacks, and kind of the curved driveways that we have in Inverness Phase 1 and 2. As you can see by the plan, we'll have around 120 home sites on, like I said, over 47 acres. We'll have walking trails, a large lake that's right here on Bryan Road. It's about a 2-acre lake. Our lots will be up here in the yellow. We'll have 58 82-foot wide lots. And we'll be building the same product we're currently building in Inverness Phases 1 and 2 that is underway right now. Down here with the light blue and white, that'll be the Fisher lots. You'll have 36 64-foot wide lots, and you'll also have 26 54-foot wide lots down in this area right here. We really like to create a park-like atmosphere in our neighborhoods. You know, that's the most popular request we have from homeowners. They want to see trails. They want to be able to walk through their community. So that's what we did. We had almost 9,000 feet of trails throughout this community. So that's a huge thing. As you can see, there's trails all around this lake, behind the houses here, through the middle of it as well. Inverness Phases 1 and 2 also has a bunch of trails, and they're very popular right now. So if you go to the next slide. Yeah, this is kind of just the larger overall view. So this shows in the white here, the current development that we have going on right now. Inverness phases 1 and 2. And right here is the proposed in the color of what we want to do. So the home sizes we'll be building the same product as Inverness phases 1 and 2, which are from 2,500 square feet to over 4,000 square feet. And Fisher will be coming in building a little bit smaller, starting at 1,600 square feet. So you can go to the next slide. And that brings us to McKelvey Homes. So these are a few of our houses. I won't spend too much time here. We'll be building the designer series that we've been building already at Inverness. So this is our Sterling Ranch, 2,500 square feet. There's an inside shot. A very popular plan. This is the LaSalle, a little bit bigger ranch model. Same specs, 2,800 square feet. One of our newer plans. Really tall ceilings throughout. You can add breakfast room, kitchen, family room. This is our story and a half, the Provence. A little bit bigger, 4-bed, almost 3,500 square feet. It has a see-through fireplace in the living room. You can see right here. So double-sided, so kind of a breakfast room over here, living room here, large end kitchen, bonus room upstairs. Really popular plan. Go to the next one. So, well, I'll keep going. This is another story and a half. Probably our most popular plan today, the Muirfield. Story and a half, a little bit bigger than the Provence. 3,700 square feet. You can actually expand it up to 4,000 square feet. There's the shot of the kitchen, great big island, very open. This has the big patio doors out to the covered patio, which is one of our options. Tall ceilings in the great room. Master bath is huge, vaulted ceilings. This is our largest plan, the Turnberry, just over 4,000 square feet. Very comparable to the Muirfield, just a little bit bigger. Has a much bigger bathroom, wing, master suite. That's the kitchen, so a little bit bigger of a kitchen, master, bedroom, closet area, much bigger than the Muirfield. Very popular plan as well. And that's what we plan on offering. I'll turn it over to Ken Cruz with Fisher Homes to talk about some of his homes he's proposing.
It's always tough following the Brennans. First, I'll address the acquisition. We were just acquired. Actually, the effective date becomes May 1st. It's Fisher Homes out of northern Kentucky, which is right there in the Cincinnati area. It was very important for us to find somebody that was comparable to us as it was to them. They build in the move-up product arena. They don't like to compete with the low-cost providers. They're a private company, started in 1980 by Henry Fisher and Elaine Fisher in the basement of their home. And they just happened to grow and expand into 7 different markets. And they range anywhere from 300 to 600 homes in those markets. We'll do 400 here in the St. Louis metro region this year. So, from a product standpoint, they are very comparable. If you know our lifestyle collection, that's what we're building in Inverness right now. We also have a slightly smaller version of the lifestyle collection that we're building over at Caledonia, if you want to check that out. And that's what we plan to build here. They just happen to call it their designer series also. But they have a lot of variety, open plan designs, exterior varieties. Feel free to trip through those photos, unless you've already been through them. There's lots of personalization opportunities, very similar to what we do already. Lots of flexible spaces to make your home most livable for you. So again, they're in Columbus, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Louisville, Dayton, and then Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. And one of the exciting things is, for me, is it's actually going to freshen up our product lineup. We're going to keep our best sellers, and then we're going to be adding a number of new plans that are great sellers in all these other Midwestern markets. So we're really excited about it. Other than that, that's all I have, Jim.
Great. You know, I can't say enough about Inverness. The success, we have Sandy Wagner here, who's our salesperson there. We've got more homes going on. When you drive through, I know Mayor Zucker, you walk through frequently. Hopefully we'll get all these trails connected. We're connected to Lake Forest Country Club, and we worked out a deal where every one of our buyers gets a free social membership for 1 year, and that will extend to Inverness III. The density of this is similar to what is in Bainbridge. I think Bainbridge was 2.5, 47. Us accountants are down to several decimal points here. Inverness 1 was at 2.5 per acre, and this is 2.53. If you notice, in the first phase, McKelvey Homes on the 82-foot wide lots was about a third. Here, due to the strong demand, we're planning on 55% of the home sites being the larger 82. We've sold over half, and our average retails have ranged is 700,000. We thought we, you know, in the 500,000-600,000, but the homes range. The least expensive is around 500,000, and the most expensive is at about $1 million. But we're seeing with low interest rates, with a great location, so close to Page Extension, close to 70, close to 64. It's great to get around, and with all the walking trails and the park-like setting. There's 4 lakes in phase 1. Here we'll have 1 lake, but it'll be the largest lake. And Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we'd be asking for is similar to on phase 1 and 2, do an R1D with a PUD that allows us the flexibility. And one of the things that I really like about driving through Inverness is you see the homes very distant from the street. And it really creates something that you don't see anywhere else in a subdivision. You have park-like settings in the front, in addition to the common ground. And we're gonna have some real nice pocket parks. The entrance monument, we will complement it. We haven't finalized the design there, but it'll be similar to what we have already. And we'll come in off Grand Inverness. And really, our purpose today is to show you this plan and get your comments and concerns that you may have. Don, I would like Don Pristine to give you a moment if you'd like to say anything.
Well, just that we've known Jim for a long time, and Dave Balls from Balls Engineering. We like working with both of them. Jim, we've learned that if he gives his word on something, that's really as good as a contract. And that means a lot in this business, doesn't it? When I first saw the concept for Inverness, being in construction myself, I just thought, this is a really neat plan. And I think a lot of people are going to study this in years to come. Because even though this has been tried somewhat before, here I get a little choked up, but it's been somewhat tried before, but this just came together so well that I really do think people will study this when they go to develop other projects.
We're proud. Excuse me. Your last name?
Oh, my name is Prestine, and this is owned by the Pope family.
Okay. You're representing the Pope family?
Yes.
And our main street will come right off the existing roundabout, and that's going to be named after your aunt, Cora Marie. And so the heritage and the tradition is important to us. When I met with Don, he said, this is the highest point in St. Charles. And I was fortunate to go to Scotland with my sons and my wife not too long ago. And one of the highest points in Scotland is called Inverness. And it's a beautiful little town. And that's why and Ken and I talked about it, and that's why we picked the name Inverness. Currently, we're not planning to connect to Bryan Road. We're leaving the creek as it exists now. It's expensive to cross the creek, but we're going to provide that stub street of Cora Marie Boat that could eventually connect to Bryan Road, depending on what the use of that corner is. And with all the rooftops here, there's 266 homes in phase 1 and 2. If we do this 120, that's almost 400 homes of high income, high value, that I know that's going to generate additional revenue for the city and really create a bunch of jobs. So I'd like to just open it up for questions and see if anyone has any questions or comments.
Ken, I have a question. Your opinion, the buyer here, and then talking with your peers in Louisville or Dayton, Cincinnati, are they buying the same type of house? Are they buying the smaller lot, more elongated house?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, obviously, the land costs being where they are, more and more people are just putting more and more money into the home and spending less time in the yard. That's true for most markets across the country.
You know, Dave, we try to do the pocket parks, and Phil, I don't know what our percentage of common ground here.
Yeah, our percentage of common ground is almost 8 acres, and it's, I believe, 16.7% of the community out of the, so it's 8 acres out of 47 acres is all common ground.
But one way or another, people can afford to spend so much. Fortunately, with the interest rates now, when I bought my first home, it was 17%. And now you see these interest rates at 3%. If you don't buy a new home now, I don't know, because the prices are skyrocketing with lumber and everything else. And so if we have a bigger lot, we're going to have a smaller home, and not everybody wants that. But I'm amazed at how much we can fit on a home site. But they still have the ability to use that common ground in those pocket parks and those trails. They don't have to cut the grass. So that's what we see. I think Lombardo in our community on the 64-foot wide lots, their base prices start in the 360s and going up to 400, and that's without any options. Your average retails are in the mid 5s. Now in phase 1 and 2, they're on a 74-foot wide lot, but you can fit the similar product on a 64 with the 3-car, and then the 54 would be with the 2-car. Right. So you're really giving people that room they want in the home without having all the yard to take care of. So I know there's sometimes concerns with the smaller lots, but I can tell you we're building on 50-foot lots, 40-foot lots, and building a heck of a house, a lot of square footage. So we've got a new community in Chesterfield. We're going to be starting in the 700s on a 50-foot wide lot. And you guys are right across the lake from us. Where are you starting?
We'll be the mid-4s.
Mid-4s, yeah. Yes, sir.
Hi, I live in Bainbridge. My biggest concern would be the traffic. Right now, Feisey Road at times is extremely hard to get out on. And when you get to Bryan Road, it's hard to make a left turn sometimes. You can wait at the light sometimes 2 or 3 times for light changes. And with this plan, it looks like you're going to have probably about 1,000 cars dumping onto Feisey without showing anything going to Bryan Road. It seems to me like the city would want another access off of Bryan to offload some of that traffic. I don't know whether it's a problem with O'Fallon, but there's a couple of areas where you can put cross streets. And I guess, is there a plan to put a light at the entrance? Traffic light?
Good question, and we had the same question. So our traffic engineer already, and Dave Bowles, I'd like you to comment on it because it's real important to us to make sure people can get in and out of our neighborhood.
So traffic is always a big concern. So CDB, Crawford Bundy Braemar, did a traffic study for this. In fact, they've done 10 traffic studies on this over the course of time because I was actually here long ago when we were rezoning all this property to commercial. And at that time, there were going to be major road improvements everywhere. So the traffic study, which was done just last month actually, shows that we do not need a signal at Feisey and Grand Inverness Parkway. And in fact, when the connection is made, eventually Cora Marie, when the commercial piece is done, because there's still 16 acres there east of the creek. When that connection is made, then the traffic is actually going to be reduced on Feisey Road because people will have an alternative way to get to Bryan Road. But it's not warranted for the commercial piece right here. And just to give you a perspective of the traffic, the plan that I did on this project back 4 or 5 years ago, when the traffic study was done for that, the amount of traffic that is generated by this residential versus that commercial plan, it's 75% less traffic generated. So the commercial actually generates 4 times more traffic than this would generate.
And at that time, we were extremely concerned about that. And
Now, also, there were major road improvements that were going to be done, but when that connection is done, when the commercial is done.
would you please show me the connection?
Sure, yeah,
Talk about the signal adjustments too.
sure,
I
right.
would just say one thing too, like, if you're comparing last month's traffic, I haven't done a morning commute in a year.
Yeah, right.
So I
So-
don't know if that's the best comparison point, because when people go back to work, it's gonna be a much different story.
And that's why it's good that we have 10 studies, because each time traffic has been counted with school in session, without school in session. And we have a traffic report that when this is submitted, if this is the plan we go with and it's submitted for a public hearing, that traffic study will be part of the package, and you can read it and look at it. But the traffic was counted many, many times over the years. Most recently, this past March. But before that, the traffic engineer took that into account. So they used the counts from, I think, 2018 or 2019. So that was taken into account. And then, because everybody recognizes, I drive in 364 every morning, and I haven't had traffic in a year, praise God. So this is the existing roundabout right here for Inverness. And right now, this is the big field. So as part of phase 3, we would build the road Cora Marie Parkway down to right here and then stub it. But when this commercial piece is built, then the road would continue, cross over the creek, and then tie into this location. There's a little bitty stub that kind of goes to that commercial piece right across the street where Jesco owns. And it would line up with that, and that would actually be signalized at that time. So eventually, this road would come right through there like that. And then at that point, anybody leaving here that wants to go to Highway 70 is going to do this. So the goal of all of this is to keep people from going through that intersection. So when the commercial is done, then that would happen, and that's going to be a great thing.
So you're asking us I guess you're asking the city to approve a plan with that not even shown. And you're betting on the fact that when the commercial people come in, that they'll develop it that way. What happens if they come in and don't want a road there?
Well, they would have to get that plan approved through this city, and that road has been shown there for, Mayor, literally.
Since the fall of 2013.
That road has been shown there. I think it would be next to impossible not to get this road built here. And I will tell you also, this is an O'Fallon Road, Bryan Road. They will demand, in order for us to have any access to this project, I can guarantee you they're going to demand that connection be made.
So they'll demand to have the cars come from that.
The city of O'Fallon and the city of Dardenne Prairie want a connection eventually to go through here when it's warranted. But it's been planned all along. The city of O'Fallon made it crystal clear that they want that connection because it bypasses the intersection right here. In fact, we want that because it prevents the traffic from coming here and it spreads it out. So
You'd have a pretty tough time making that 16-acre triangle a successful retail development if you couldn't exit and go north on Bryan Road.
Oh, I get the part about the retail.
Yeah.
But the retail it doesn't seem to me that the retail would care if the residentials came into their area. You know what I'm saying, across the creek? Yeah. I mean, I don't see any drive for the retail to put that in.
well, they're going to have to, because it's going to be like a PUD similar. It's going to be a C2 PUD. So it's definitely going to be a planned district. Whenever you do a rezoning into planned district, the city can put conditions on it. And that's going to be a condition that the city of Dardenne Prairie will require. In addition, the city of O'Fallon will definitely require that in order for us to have a curb cut on the road. But we have had a traffic study done most recently this past a month or two ago. And it had recommendations, and it did not recommend the signal here at Grand Inverness, but the one thing it did recommend is a timing change at the intersection right here. So part of this project would be requesting a timing change, and it's something that basically it's a computer change. that changes the timing to make this intersection work as efficient as it's working now. So they grade intersections A through D, and by making that change, the intersection will remain the same grade. So, I don't know if that confused you or answered your question.
You've answered my question. It just seems like 1,000 more cars built down to Heisey in the meantime is going to create a traffic nightmare for residents in the city of Dardenne Prairie.
Well, this particular portion, which is 120 homes, generally speaking, a subdivision like that, and I'm not a traffic engineer, it would generate about 120 trips in the AM peak, which is one every, two a minute would be added here. Some would go right and some would go left, but the traffic engineer has looked at all this, and she will be available at the public hearing, which I encourage everyone to come to the public hearing.
I appreciate you.
Sure.
And I had the same concern. How do you measure now COVID? I've been working remotely, and I shouldn't tell my son this, but I don't know if I'm coming back to the office. I'm enjoying working from home. A lot of the people I know are working from home, and you find out that you're far more productive. So time will tell the impact of this pandemic on us as humans and traffic patterns. But they used the pre-COVID, I actually read this full traffic report. They used the pre-COVID traffic counts and then adjusted for the change in the plan. Any other questions? Right, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, thanks. I've been at home for the last year too. My wife keeps asking me when I'm going on a business trip again. So I don't know what that means. But, I know you mentioned the phase one, phase one, within the county, 500 to a million.
Yeah, thanks for buying home.
Yeah, no, it's been a great experience. Thanks. Your team is awesome. 500 to a million in the first phase. What's the, I'm sorry if I missed this, the average for phase three that you're projecting?
Boy, I'd say, if you told me what lumber prices are gonna be, I could tell you. If you look at our housing market, and I'm an old guy, it's the best in my lifetime, but it's the worst as far as buying things. Lumber is triple. I don't know what you're saying. Everything else, we're waiting for carpenters. There's shortages of labor. I just looked at a house we closed today. The base price of that home has increased over 10% since last fall. And it's because of the significant increases and with land prices and development prices going up. I was happily surprised that we averaged 700,000, but I'm not happy when I see lumber that was costing maybe 25,000 on a house that's now costing 75,000, and the futures are even higher. So Ken, I don't know what your crystal ball says. We're both CPAs, so we know what our cost is, and it's not pretty when you keep seeing it go up.
Yeah, we're unable, for a while we predicted it would head back down, but it just hasn't. At this point, we're just hoping for it to flatten out for the foreseeable future.
I think everyone having a 3-car garage in phase one and things like that, I think if any of that can be carried over. I think that this carries a little bit of, no amount of brick, amount of stone that's being used on the homes. I think that's important just for the aesthetics and the parts value of the other ones that bought.
I think that you saw the elevations there. We're in a premium location, and if anything, we're seeing people, especially our phase two versus phase one. I think we're averaging 800,000 in phase two, Sandy, and we just see people adding more options and building bigger homes, and I would expect that to continue. That's why, I told Ken we wanted a bigger piece of it. You're going to have 2-car on 26 home sites, right? On 54, and that really works because having the variety of product. So when it comes time for somebody to sell, you don't have all the same size home in the community. And having 2 quality builders in the community offers a variety to consumers. So I'd like to think everybody would buy a McKelvey home. They've bought Payne homes, they'll buy Fisher homes, they'll buy Lombardo homes. And Lombardos, I think, are 2-car garage currently. With the fellow product, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Sandy, do you know for sure?
Yeah.
2-car. Yeah. So our plan is to do 3-car, your plan is to do some 3 and some 2.
Mostly 3.
But mostly 3.
And the other thing I'll add is, with Fisher Homes, I mean, streetscape has been very important to Payne Family Homes. It's very important to me, and it's also very important to Fisher Homes. In fact, our president and COO, I mean, his mantra is that he wants all of our neighborhoods to look like Disney. So pressure's on for me to try and make that happen, but Inverness would be no exception. It's very important that they take care of their neighborhoods, and streetscape is the key, one big key to that.
You know, I mentioned earlier that it looks like we're going to be around that 160 million in value in phase 1 and 2. We think phase 3 would be around 70 million. Yes, sir. You, all the way in the rear, you had another question?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what the landscape or the back of these homes will look like facing Feisy. I guess it's the Fisher homes at the bottom of the.
Yeah, we haven't, Dave, we haven't done a detailed landscape plan, but
You know, one of the problems that I see in a lot of subdivisions is they back the homes up to the street, and then they put these different colored fences and stuff along the roadways, and after about 2, 3, 4 years, they start to sag and they look terrible. I just wondered if you had a nice landscape design for that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, with our HOA home association indentures, we try to prevent that from happening. So we want, basically one style of fence. So it means a black aluminum, mimicking a wrought iron fence is what we'll approve there. So we won't have a mismatch. It's important to us as well. We want it to look beautiful. If you drive around, right across the street over here in Brook Hollow, we built that how many years ago? 20 years ago? 15 years ago? You drive by there, there's a lot of planting, landscape buffer. It still looks great to this day. And, we take pride in our subdivisions. We want them to look good, not while we're building them and selling them, but 15, 20, 30 years after we're done and out of there.
we've hired Loomis and Associates as our landscape architect. You can see with our entrance monument was spared no expense. And I'll give Mayor Zucker a lot of credit because he held me to that request from many years ago to make it spectacular. I don't know if our gazebo's finished yet, but we have the teardrop back in phase 2. We could have put more homes in and not put that, but we know that if we put solid amenities in, the 2-acre lake, that's 5 lakes in the community. They're all gonna have fountains. The landscaping, we haven't talked the details, but I know your buyers would want to screen Feisy Road from the traffic, the noise, the lights, and so we're gonna make sure that's a nice landscape buffer. And I know the city's gonna have requirements. Typically, we do more than what the city is gonna require.
Let me say something else about that buffer along Feisy, because that was a concern to me as well. One thing that we did when we laid that out in that area along Feisy Road, when this was going to be all retail, there were going to be lots and lots of road improvements. In fact, Feisy Road was going to be 5 lanes through there, and then transition 4 and then to 3, because we needed that much room to put all the lanes in that were going to be required. And Bryan Road was going to be 7 lanes in that across that section. So there were going to be lots and lots of road improvements. Now with a much scaled down project and less traffic, we don't need that anymore. But the lines that I showed there, actually I kept as if we were still doing all that road dedication. So for example, even along Bryan Road up there, I'm showing a 30-foot right-of-way dedication, which there's no way, we already have 20 feet more dedicated than the piece of property to the north of us. So I don't think I even need to do any. So I think I'm going to end up with probably 20 to 30 feet of property there. And the same thing will happen along Feisy Road. In fact, if you look at the aerial right there, and you see the houses that are in Pinnacle Point to the south, and look at the houses that are in Inverness III, the houses in Inverness III are actually further away from Feisy Road than the houses in Pinnacle Point. It's actually more than you think. This is hard to see on this scale. But at the public hearing, I can go over that. But I can tell you that the homes in Inverness III are further away from Fisey Road than the homes in Pinnacle Point. And they will be, so there's room to do landscaping. So,
And I'd encourage you to come to the planning and zoning meeting. It will be in this same room, the same building. Our goal is to try to get a plan submitted and have that public hearing in mid-July, July 14th at planning and zoning. And then hopefully with their approval, I think last time we were unanimous, Dave, weren't we?
Yes.
Approval, and we went to the council, Mayor, and I think we were unanimous approved that.
Yes.
And if that would be the case, then we would look for final approval first week in August, August 4th, depending on how fast Bowles Engineering is. We would hopefully get their plans complete in the fall and then approved by Luke and the city staff somewhere before the end of 2021 and start doing not much clearing, but grading and the like in 2022. Wow. Any other questions?
You could bring it before the board in July too.
I think the first meeting, Dave, is July 21st, but I think you go to 2. You may have sped it up last time. Don't we have a public hearing, the first council meeting, and then it gets ratified?
You go to planning and zoning first.
Right, that's July 14th.
And then the 21st would be our second meeting of the month.
Okay.
So you could go before the board on.
Yeah, we plan on going there if we were successful in getting planning and zoning approval.
Okay,
So
so
I
the
thought you
next
had to go
week.
through 2 council meetings, but it's great if you could do it in one.
Right, well, it would be.
Typically, if it's a well-done project, the Board of Aldermen is able to digest it in one meeting.
Well, we appreciate that.
Controversial, then they might do the first reading on July 21,
Okay.
second reading in August.
So you helped us by doing 2 readings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me answer Tim a little bit. I'm still digesting this. Casey's still looking at it. If you go across the street at Fisey, you have exactly what you're talking about. You have a couple vinyl fences, you have some wooden fences. Most of them are in pretty good repair now. I think they've fixed some of them. It's unsightly, I think. It's not even started yet, but Dardenne Villas, which are going to be at the the northwest corner of Hanley and Fisey, in their indentures, they're not allowed to put a privacy fence of any type along the road. It's in there, it's written in that they cannot do that. We wanted to stay away from those ugly fences that happen 15 years from now or 20 years from now. I don't want to drive down there 20 years from now. You won't want me driving down there 20 years from now.
Are you thinking the same thing?
And I hope they're hearing me, but that's probably what we're going to want. If you go to Brook Hollow, you'll see some white vinyl, but it's, tell me what it is, it's post and rail, it's not privacy.
We installed, when we developed that, we wanted a buffer from Fisey Road.
Right.
So we
So-
landscaped it, we put the 3-rail fence, similar to what was at Wing Haven. And then we found subsequent, some people put a fence inside the fence.
Exactly.
Because they wanted privacy, and I don't like that look. Luckily, we've got a lot of landscaping there, so we're sensitive to it. We want it to look good. That's why in Inverness, we've got only black metal fences allowed. And I assume we do the same indenture here for Inverness 3 and make it part of that overall community.
Okay. The other thing, as far as timing of the lights, there was just an ordinance passed that's going to be controlled all the way down Fisey and all the way down Town Square Avenue. Mayor, you aware of that we passed that the other night?
Yeah, it's called Great Way Green Light,
Right.
something close to that. So it's a computerized management of lights to facilitate the smooth flow of traffic.
And it'll not only flow Fisey, but it's going to flow Town Square Avenue because of the new development that's going in across from the service station at the corner of Town Square and Bryant. So that will all be controlled in time So that'll answer some of your timing issues.
Any other questions or comments?
Got a question on the water drainage.
Sure.
Is where it backs up to Lombardo on phase 3 there, where it backs up, is any of that rooftop water going to drain towards Lombardo? Or is it all going into the big lake?
Dave, you want to comment on that?
So where are you,
I'm at the corner of the lake in phase 1, where it comes in from Lombardo,
okay,
Gio, can you do all three phases?
right there. No, just on this side, right,
This slide right
right
here.
there.
yeah. So phase 3, pretty much most of that goes to the big lake that we're proposing. In the northwest corner of phase 3, there's a small area that is tributary to the northwest and would go into that lake that's just to the, right there, that lake right there. So there's a small part of that northwest cul-de-sac that's going to be part of phase 3 that will go up into that lake. But it was accounted for when we did Inverness.
I was just wondering, because just being right across from the lake, when we get just a moderate rain, there's a lot of water that comes down there, and that turf and everything is starting to slide down into the lake. And I was just wondering if there's any more water, that might be a problem, and it might be something that would require maybe putting a dry branch, laying the big rock in there and have the water go
Yeah.
down. I got a couple of pictures from one that I saw.
And the plan for Inverness 3 is to, we're not going to take any additional water there. Water that already drains that way will continue to go that way, but, and I actually know exactly what you're
I'm
talking
talking
about.
about like off the rooftops where the gutters.
Right,
Right.
yeah. So the roofs in that northwest corner are going to go that direction. But what I'm saying is that lake already is accounted for that, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the erosion problem where water goes in the lake.
The lake
And
itself
that
will handle it.
exists.
It's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. Well, we've got Jim Piper here who helps us with land development, as well as our Payne staff. And Jim, we'll take a look at that, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you some pictures.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other questions or comments?
Ken, do you foresee any of yours being HOA maintenance controlled? Or are they going to be individual lots?
As of right now, well, no.
I mean, they'll all be individual lots. Will they be villa style that the HOA will maintain them?
The answer to that at this moment is no. These will be single-family detached homes, and everyone will take care of their own yard.
Okay.
As far as the design in that village, they're going to be a variety of products.
There'll be ranches and story and a halves and 2 stories, and interestingly enough, they have a couple of plans. I almost start saying weeds pretty soon here, that are 5 level. I got to tour them in Cincinnati, and they're actually pretty cool, and they sell really, really well. So I'm anxious to try it out here.
Any other? Well, thank you all for being here. Thanks to the audience at home. Hope we got more viewers than the Oscars. Don, I don't know if you have anything else to add. Thank you so much for the confidence you've had in us. I got to thank Casey and Dave and Mayor Zucker for being here. Thanks for everything you've done for us over a long period of time. And we love working in Dardenne Prairie. It's a great place to live, a great place for us to do business. So thank you all. Have a good evening. We'll stick around if anybody has any other questions.